Hello, my name is Voya and welcome to my deep guide. Well, today we have something really cool, and that is the Bigme S6 Color Plus. So this is hot on the heels of Bigme's Galy, which was a Gallery 3 powered 8-inch tablet. This one is 7.8-inch tablet, and this one is actually using the Kaleido 3 screen, pretty much the same as the Tab Mini C. So here we have the first direct competitor and a first non-BOOX tablet that's meaningful, that is using a 7.8-inch color Kaleido 3 screen. And why is this important? Well, first of all, it's important to see where Bigme is with their operating system, with all of these things, what they can actually get out of the panel itself. But secondly, it's really interesting to see a completely different device. And as we know, the Tab series of the BOOX devices, they're utilizing their own proprietarily developed GPU unit that's external. It's not part of the SoC that all of those systems are using. So it's a dedicated GPU that is tasked to basically cleaning things up, cleaning the image, and speeding the image up a lot, and consuming a lot of battery as well. This is an opportunity to actually compare as well, how does the Kaleido 3 screen panel work on its own, and how much does the actual GPU from BOOX and the technology that they're using in their Tab devices, how much does it actually work and improve these things? Is it real or is it not? Now, this is the unboxing of the Bigme S6 Color Plus. So of course that is going to be the focus on that device, but throughout the review I will, or not the review, but the unboxing, I will be referencing and doing a little bit of comparisons with the Tab Mini C, and afterwards, when I'm done with the in-depth reviews of each individual devices, then I will do a comparison as well, along with the Galy device as well, so that we can see those three different technologies and similar technologies and how they are actually combined together, and what type of results can you actually expect from these devices. Full disclosure, this unit has been kindly sent to me by Bigme, and this is a review loan unit. So when I'm done with it, I'm sending it back. And my name is the Corrections Voya, and in this video you will see me actually interjecting in the normal flow of this video, offering the corrections and the clarifications of certain issues that Bigme felt very strong need for me to correct. So let's unbox the Bigme S6 Color Plus. And here is the Bigme S6 Plus, I believe it's called. And Bigme sent me a full package, which means the device, I believe this is the cover, and these are the accessories. So first, let's focus on what Bigme S6 Color Plus should actually be. So Bigme S6 Color Plus comes really quickly after the Bigme Galy, which even in Bigme's words was not a success. They actually say that Bigme Galy the acceptance rate was very low because of the screen speed mainly. I disagree that it was just the screen speed in my experience, and from what I've read, people didn't have that much issues with the speed. Yes, it was very slow, but the bigger problems were the color consistencies or inconsistency in speeds, and also that the user interface and the performance overall of the device was not that great. S6 Color Plus from Bigme is a 7.8-inch Kaleido 3 e-ink color tablet. It has pretty much the exact same internals as the Bigme Galy, which means octa-core 2.3 GHz CPU, 6 GB of RAM, 128 GB of storage, expandable via microcard to 1 TB, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth support, 3000 mAh battery, which was a bit of an issue on the Galy, so we will see how the battery management is on the Bigme S6 Color Plus. Still has front and rear cameras. Really don't understand why would you need that, but okay. Fingerprint, cold and warm, front light, and USB-C for communication and charging. So that's what Bigme S6 Color Plus is. Now let's unbox it and see what we get. just for you. And here is the tablet. Again, the same pen that I was not a fan of, simply because it's way too big for a device like this, but it's a very functional pen. So you do have a lot of buttons, and it can be a laser point presenter as well. So that's that. But you know, the cool thing is that, if I'm not mistaken, this is EMR, and the S6 Plus is compatible with EMR pens, so you should be able to actually just replace it with something other than this very chunky big pen. Warranty card and a quick start guide. Then we have the cover, so let's open that up and see what's it like. Where would it be safe to cut? I believe here should be okay. Yes. I like the arrow. Open here. Because the previous cover for Bigme Galy felt nice, and this one feels nice too. Oh, it's got buttons as well, so that's kind of cool. That's a nice thing to see. And we got the accessory box here. No arrow on this box. Haha. USB-C cable and 2 extra nibs. So it's a fairly complete and comprehensive package. You get the device, you get the cover, you get the documentation, you get the USB cable, 2 extra nibs, and a pen that doubles as a laser presenter as well. Let's focus on the device. All right, so let's get the device out of the protective pouch, and let's get the protective foil off. All right, and here it is. So this is a far more traditional format than what we had with the Bigme Galy, because Bigme Galy, as you can see, is a completely different format. So it was much wider, a little bit shorter, because it has an equal width bezel around here. The front camera was on the side. Here we have the same camera system on the top. Now, right out of the bat, you can actually see the difference between Kaleido and the Galy. So Kaleido 3, white color, much darker, and a completely different hue than it is on the Galy. From the back of the device, we have the same exact color. I really liked the gray-ish kind of color here, and the whiteness here, while nice, and I definitely prefer it to the black one, it would be nicer to actually have it a bit darker, especially because Kaleido 3 screen is so much darker than the surrounding frame. Thickness wise, for all intents and purposes, they are pretty much almost the same. 0.0 of a 5mm thinner is the S6 Color. The S6 Color will be naturally compared to the Galy, but also to the BOOX Tab Mini C, because Tab Mini C, I think, is a much more direct point of comparison to the Bigme S6 Color, because it's using the same screen, it's the same format, and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, so this is going to be the reality of the Bigme S6 Plus. It's going to compete both with Bigme Galy and also with the Tab Mini C. But in all honesty, this is the thing that everybody is going to be kind of thinking about. Overall, the format is basically exactly the same. The only difference is you got the camera here on the front and you have a camera on the back, while thankfully there's no cameras on the Tab Mini C. The whiteness of the color, we'll see. When we fire it up, we can actually do a little bit of a comparison there as well, because I know that people are going to be interested in that. All right, so let's do the overview of the device. It's a flush flat screen on the front. Reflectivity of the screen surface is good. It's not excellent, but I think it's very good, considering that these are super bright conditions. And yeah, the reflections are dimmed in a nice way, so this should lend itself okay for writing. Yeah, it is. It's not Kindle Scribe or Remarkable or Quaderno type of a surface, but it's actually far better than what we have on the Tab Mini and the Tab C. So that part actually is working out quite nicely. On the front, you also have the camera array here with the light sensors. On the side, we have the attachment for the pen. So this is where the pen attaches via the magnet. This was really bad on the Galy, so let's see. This remains equally bad on the S6 Plus. The problem is that this is a super glossy, slippery type of a pen. You have a round edge on a round edge, so the contact point between these two is going to be super thin and small. So that's just not a good design, and that's not a favorable thing for this to kind of have a secure contact, because immediately you have this, I mean, I don't even have to do anything much. It's just tiny bit of movements and the pen falls away. So the pen is barely holding on together, and also I don't think that it suits the device in any way, shape or form. The design doesn't match the device, the color doesn't match the device, and the size most definitely does not match the device, because it's just so massive. It's kind of, it looks a little bit silly. On the other side, we have the connection for the flipbook cover, which also has page turn buttons. On the bottom, we have, I believe these are the microphones, and this is the USB-C for data communication and charging. On the top, we have the micro SD card slot, we have a speaker, we have a power button that doubles as a fingerprint reader. And the back is a nice and clean affair with this kind of greenish gray color, flash, and a camera, rear, and legal mumbo jumbo in Chinese down here at the bottom. So overall, I think that it's a standard looking device. I do like the fact that it's actually grayish white instead of the traditional black. I think that's a nicer thing to see, especially for a reader and a note taker. Quality and materials, I think this is all plastic. Yeah, this is all plastic. It's a little bit of a scratchy kind of plastic, and it doesn't really give me any kind of a premium feel. Yes, this looks like metal, but it is not metal. And it's, while plastic, it's fine. I think maybe that helps with keeping the weight down, and it doesn't really look bad or anything like that. It's just that the feel under the hand is plastic, and it's not the cheapest plastic, it's not the best plastic, but it's actually okay. There are some small inconsistencies here, but nowhere near as bad as it was or as it is on the Tab C. So that's all perfectly acceptable, I think. And the device lends itself nicely to actually use in either of the configuration, portrait or landscape, and lefty righty doesn't matter because this is a fully symmetrical device. As far as build quality goes, it's okay, but I don't know if the camera can pick this up. I hope that it can. It's not perfectly straight. There's a little bit of a woink this way, so there's a concavity here. It's not extreme, but there is a little bit of it there. So it's basically these sections. So from here, it's tapering off to the right hand side. Or if I turn it this way, yep, from this point, a little bit off to the left. So I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe the camera can pick it up so that you can see that this corner and this corner are going a little bit there. So that's not a great thing to see, but it's nothing catastrophic. It's very, very mild. All right, let's do the first power up, and then I actually need to let it update, because I was asked by Bigme if I can actually use the first update that was supposed to have been released 2 days ago. This is Monday now, so that should have been released on Saturday. So I agreed to wait until Monday and yeah, kind of see what the update is, because they just want to kind of represent their device in the best light possible, which I fully understand. So that's kind of okay, but you know, by that time we will see how does the screen actually perform, and yeah, what the color is like as well, and yeah, the first impressions, as one would say. Welcome to Use Bigme AI Note. Right off the bat, I think that Bigme needs to hire a native English speaker or somebody who knows how to translate your user interface in a good way, because this is a welcome note. This is the first thing that you see. And if the device is aimed at Western market, then this needs to be properly translated, because this is not a proper translation. Okay, so I need to click the scan button on the right and then click the power button of the pen, right? So let's do this. Or is the pen not charged? Or just connected to the side, you know? All right, I'm connected to Wi-Fi, and while I was typing in the password for the Wi-Fi, the responsiveness of the device was very, very nice. So I didn't have to kind of wait or correct anything. And already I can see when the screen is changing and everything that the ghosting is not bad. So here is the next step, which is the gesture settings. We have back, home, full refresh. I'm going to disable the swipe left and right. And I'm going to change this so that this is my back and that this was going to be my multitask switcher or full screen refresh. Let's do full screen refresh there. So that's the configuration that I like, and I'm not going to use these on the sides. Although I think that you should be able to, volume, warm light, cold light. You don't want to adjust warm light, cold light intensity. You want to have intensity, overall intensity of the front light on one side, either one, and the color balance on the other one. You don't want to mix these two, because what you ultimately want to do is get the mixture of the warmth and coldness of the light just so, and then be able to adjust the intensity of that mixture independent. So we have office style, home screen can be office style or tablet style. Well, let's try. Okay, so tablet style is on Android with your icons, and the office style is this here, and this can be adjusted through settings, home screen style. Okay, so let's try the tablet style first. Yeah, I'm not gonna be doing the AI note tank new. I don't want that. I don't want any of this. So the guide for the user homepage is here, but it's showing the office style, even though I have chosen the tablet style. This is off, because if you're going to add the option of having a tablet style, well, you know what the user has chosen and you know what the setting is. So therefore, you need to bring up the correct version of the guide that is going to show exactly what you see on the device, because right now I don't see these things. And yes, I'm technically inclined, so I do understand these things and I will know how to use it, but somebody who's not so technically inclined won't be. And also, for the completeness sake, you would want this to be, you know, kind of proper, you know, not just showing things that are not there, because that was my guide and now my home screen has a little to do with what was actually shown. I believe that the office look would be a better thing, unless we are able to easily kind of group things. So can we do this? Long press and create a folder. Wow, that's not great. So what's happening? Okay, so I guess no folders. This was the second point that they wanted to clarify, which is that indeed you are able to group the system and pre-installed apps. And for me, that was not true at first. As you've seen, it caused like really severe system instability. But after I did a full-on power cycle, or actually 2 full-on power cycles, only then it became possible to actually group the apps that it was not possible to group previously. Whether or not any of the following updates are going to address the underlying system instability, I don't really know. I hope they do. But if you do encounter something like this on your device, for me, in my experience at the very least, a power cycle or 2 power cycles actually resolved the issue, and I was able to group all of the apps and organize the apps that way. We have a Google Play Store immediately here, which is a very nice thing to see. How do I update? Oh, you slide it down. Okay, so system update, and let's check for updates. And this is the latest version. Well, they said after this Saturday, so maybe the unit that was shipped here was already updated somehow, or maybe they haven't really released it, but they said until Saturday. I said that I would wait until Saturday. Now it's Monday, and this is the update state that I can have. So that's what we're going to be going with. All right, so let's first check here, because they're specifically saying that the new update is supposed to improve ghosting performance, and they want to, their customers to see everything as best as possible, which is totally understandable. So I'm going to try and log into Kindle. Okay, so I just logged in, but it's saying that I need to sign in. What, again? All right, so I signed in again, and I just can't sign in. It's constantly signing me out. So I'm led to believe that this version of Kindle that's installed here is wrong, and I'm just gonna uninstall it and install a new one from Google Play Store, because this is not working. This was the first point that they said and characterized as a misunderstanding, and they actually described it as that the Kindle app wasn't functioning correctly because it was Kindle issue. It is a flashback caused by opening the software before the download is incomplete. I assume they meant complete. I attached a video that show it work well for your reference. And the video that was attached actually just shows them installing a properly working Kindle app, which is exactly the same thing that I have done in the video as well, as you have seen. So the point 1 about the Kindle that they wanted to clarify is a moot point because it doesn't actually exist. Finally, I managed to log in. It took like 3 tries because I would log in, authenticate, and then it would just sign out in the middle of process. It authorizes and everything, but there's like a couple of things that you need to agree to and blah blah blah, and in the middle of those it's sign out again and sign out, and finally here and welcomed by a gigantic TikTok thing. Like, what the hell? This is not a great app optimization to actually see apps like this. No, I do not want TikTok at all. I will never have TikTok. No, thank you. I want Kindle. So let's see what the speed of the device is like. And you can see, ghosting and everything like that. So we're looking for Kindle. So far, it's pretty snappy and pretty much okay. The refresh thing works, and the ghosting is not that bad. When it happens, there's quite a bit of ghosting, but the logic is actually quite good. So the device is fairly snappy, I would say. So while it's doing that, I'm gonna go for Kobo as well, just to kind of see how that works. Okay, and I'm gonna get Google Drive as well so I can easily grab my files for testing things. All right, so now he's doing that, and I'm gonna go for Google Drive. As you can see, the typing is really responsive and really precise and fast, so I can type very quickly, and I have yet to make a mistake, which is a really good thing to see. And while we're at it, let's install the Edge as well. All right, so fairly snappy device, and I do like how it works. So all of the installed stuff should be here, but it's not. It's just all over the place. Okay, so how does the rearranging of icons look like? Can I just swap places? No, that doesn't work. So is he gonna crash again if I just like drop it here? Isn't it gonna move the icon? No. So the home screen for the tablet mode doesn't really work well because you can't group icons, so you can't organize this into folders, so which would be a normal thing. And far more importantly, you can't, the thing that's native to any Android and it just works, is rearrange icons so that they can actually move around. Those things don't work. So I really don't recommend using the tablet mode. Because it's just not there yet. All right, so let's get to Kindle, Kobo, Drive, and Edge. Okay, so here are my 4 newly installed programs. So let's start with Kindle. So I attempted to sign in, and what I'm getting, and then Kindle app crashed. And now I'm getting this. So I'm trying to launch it, goes up to here and crashes. Goes up to here, crashes. Okay, so I can't do that. Let's try Kobo. Kobo is not responsive. All right, something's definitely wrong, and I'm gonna restart the device, and I'm gonna switch to the office mode as well, and then let's see if that helps it, because now the device is in a completely crashed state and it's not launching apps, and it's just not working properly. I mean, this is okay. Okay, now it managed to do its thing and it launched both apps. Okay, so let's go back here, let's go back into Kindle, and let's try and sign in. Let's see if it's going to work this time, or is it going to crash. This is where it crashed last time. Okay, so let's see. And if I go to the library, I am actually seeing my stuff. So this time it works. So the built-in app that was here really didn't work at all. So once I installed this one, this actually works fine. So let's open up a book and let's see the download speed and just the responsiveness of the device and what kind of stuff can we look forward to. Images are okay, and the speed is, well, as you would normally kind of expect it from a Kindle app on an Android. Does the auto rotation work? Yep, it works. It's a little bit slow though. Takes quite a lot of time. So let's see, 1, 2, about 2 seconds. 1, 2, there. So 1, 2, yep, 2 seconds for it to actually switch the rotation. That's too slow, because normally other devices are able to switch the orientation by the time you have finished your physical maneuver. So the idea is that while you're done reorienting the device and everything, the device is ready for the user. And afterwards they had an additional point, which I really don't get it. Why are they insisting on these things? But they are, so let's do cover them so that every single thing has been covered that they have actually mentioned in their email communication with me. And the point in question is that they said that the auto rotation performance that I've shown was probably that slow because I was in HD mode, and if I set it to extreme mode, then they've measured it, it's around 1 second, and that I should mention that too in the video. So I'm mentioning it, but I'm gonna up it up a little bit more as well. And here is a footage with a timer of me doing the auto rotation in extreme mode in Kindle app and auto rotation in HD mode, and we're gonna do a couple of rotations, do a timed measurement, and then give you the average value for the rotation performance, just so that we don't leave any stone uncovered as far as this matter goes. Now, I have no idea what the result is going to be because I will see the result only in the editing process, so you will see it there, and I can't really tell you what the result is. That's what they want, that's what they'll get. Okay, so yeah, we do have refresh modes. So we have HD 256, HD, normal, extreme, and regal. Okay, and auto clean is on. So we have auto clean is in extreme mode only. Okay, so let's see how fast is. Well, that's very fast. This is really, really fast. Okay, so we do have fairly good refresh mode here when we are in the extreme mode, and the ghosting is not that bad at all. Yeah, let's switch to extreme in here as well. Okay, and now it's a lot more responsive. Cool. So we do have different refresh modes, which is kind of nice. And at that point, let's test them out in a browser, because that's something that we can all relate to. Okay, different types of websites. We can actually go here. So this feels like a normal tablet when you are in the extreme mode, but the responsiveness of the device is a little bit kind of weird. And yeah, here we go with the images and image heavy type of situation. So we definitely have ghosting issues here that are not as good as on the Tab Mini C, for sure, because this is normal Kaleido type of performance that you can see all of the ghosting all over the place. So once you actually encounter a non-external dedicated GPU from the BOOX that was basically designed for clearing up ghosting, then that's a big reminder of just how much ghosting normally there is on a Kaleido or an e-ink screen. That being said, the speed, this is the most extreme mode, so of course it's going to have most ghosting. And also, again, this is not the latest update because it's not been deployed to this unit yet, but the update that you're talking about should improve ghosting. So we will see in the in-depth review how that looks like. Now let's try a normal speed. That's actually quite good. But the ghosting is similar, a little bit better. So the color yellow, it's off, and I think it's not able to do the colors that much correctly. So let's just double check what's the HD 256. So this is the 256 colors. And then we get a better rendition of colors. A lot better, but still not great, but it's a lot better. But this looks really, really heavy dithering. Let's see, normal HD. Not really that pretty. But at least the ghosting is a bit better, but now the device is becoming very difficult to navigate. So let's switch back to normal. Okay, so this is better. We can go back. Okay, so actually what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna fire up Tab Mini C as well. And let's just see the same page. How do they look side by side? And finally, their third point of concern was the ghosting performance. And they felt that it was unfair of me to actually compare and give you guys a side-by-side comparison of the performance of the same exact web page browsing in different modes between the Tab Mini C and the S6 Color Plus. Bigme was extremely insistent that they have been working extremely hard on the update and that they're gonna release the update that I was supposed to actually get, that they actually never notified me that it's going to be delayed and never actually communicated anything about it, that update, and it's still not out even now when I'm actually recording these corrections. Yeah, that update, I don't know where I'm gonna insert this in the video, but either I've already said it or I will say it in the course of the video. I'm fully aware of the fact that our update can improve ghosting performance very, very much significantly, and this is the reason why I abstain from criticizing, praising, or giving any kind of judgment regarding the ghosting performance of the S6 Color Plus, because they said that it's going to be resolved in the update, so therefore we will check it out in the coming update. But the update is not here. And guess what? Other resources or other reviewers have been allowed to post their unboxings, to post their reviews 2 weeks ago. And they've been public for 2 weeks. So the reason why you are unable to actually see the direct comparison between the S6 Color Plus and the Tab Mini C, the natural, logical, direct competitors between these of these devices, is directly Bigme. Now, I could definitely show it, but I really don't want to be characterized by anyone by being unfair or unobjective or anything like that. So, as you can see, I'm laying it all bare here, and there's going to be a lot more bare laying out about this whole thing in a dedicated video when I'm going to be talking about this whole thing. But to focus on the S6 Color Plus, there will be a comparison with the Tab Mini C, but that comparison is going to happen after the long announced update for the S6 Color Plus is being released. So you will get that, and you will get it so that Bigme doesn't have any kind of ammo up their sleeve to say that they had an unfair treatment. So that is the only reason why I'm not bringing you that, showing you that footage that was there, which was actually a very nice comparison, a very objective one. And I don't fully understand why they were objecting that much, because that device will never, ever be as good as the Tab Mini C. It just physically can't be. And what I saw was absolutely not on the Tab Mini C level, and it will never be. So, okay, I get it. They want to present their device as best as they possibly can, and that is the opportunity that I will grant them to actually have on mydeepguide, so that nobody can actually say, oh, you were unfair in the presentation of our device. So it's going to be a little delay on the objective presentation of how does the S6 Color Plus compare to the Tab Mini C, because I want to bring you the objective picture, and if current update doesn't show you the objective picture, then we all collectively have to wait for the new update, and then we will see it. From now on, Bigme has absolutely no right to see a single frame of my footage when I'm covering any of their devices before they are public. So that means they will never see, hear, or know anything about the videos that I'm doing before the public sees it. And in general, because of this experience, I'm never going to allow any company to do this, because it's simply not acceptable as far as I'm concerned. Now, other companies are really not to blame here, because nobody did this. Bigme did, in a very, very unscrupulous way. I will cover this in a dedicated video in as objective a way that I possibly can, and because I think that this is a very, very important thing to present to you guys what it actually means, and how do companies attempt to affect the reviewer or the influencer or whatever it may be, because you don't actually get to see that side of the story. And I think this is a really, really good example to actually show you a couple of examples. How a bad example is, which definitely Bigme is like the worst example that I've ever had in the history of this channel. And then how a normal interaction actually looks like with other examples. For example, Remarkable, Supernote, or even Books. And also the middle of the road, how you can actually address these things in a proper way. For example, I think Kobo would have been a very, very good example for that. All right, no more corrections, Voya. I think that's all that's been covered, so let's get back to the normal video. I don't have a thermal camera, and I know that Tab devices do get warm, but not this much. This one got really warm here. Like this area here is very, very warm now to the touch, and that's actually unusual. And what about the Tab Mini? Nope, not at all. So yeah, the S6 is unusually getting very, very warm in this area here, and I haven't been doing anything really terrible with it. I was just installing stuff and browsing, so that's something to kind of keep in mind. And where's the full refresh? I guess the full refresh would be here. No, that's return to home screen, refresh. There we go, to get rid of the ghosting from the browsing. All right, let's download some documents and just see how the image quality is like in documents, and then check out some writing. All right, so just a quick overview of a couple of loaded documents and how that looks like. So this is in Regal refresh mode, and speed is quite nice, and the most importantly, the image quality is actually quite nice, and the rendition of colors is also very nice. However, if you want to switch to something like normal, then yeah, then we definitely see that yellowing of the colors and paling of everything. So, but then you get a dramatic increase in speed as well, and also quite a bit of an increase in ghosting. So it really depends on what you want to do. I wouldn't use the normal mode as it is now. I don't know how it's going to be after the update finally does come. I wouldn't be okay with this amount of ghosting, but for me that's not really that much of a problem, because when I'm reading, I'm really not going to be flipping pages that quickly. So I can switch to Regal, and now there we go. The interpretation of colors is better, the ghosting is better, like everything is a lot better. So let's now switch to a different document here and see how does this look like. Yep, that's okay. Rendition of colors or details is good. Auto rotation works. Wow, somebody's been very inspired by the Neo Reader. I'm gonna use formatting, fit to width, and to see how will that actually work. Okay, so that works. Do we have hyperlink support? Yes, we do. That's great. And when you have a smaller one like this, let's see if I change the format to fit with. What do we get? They haven't really accounted for the screen size. So the screen panel itself will always go a little bit under the frame, and the software is not compensating for that. So when you do fit width or height, portions of the text in the very corners and the edges will basically be either obstructed or uncomfortably near the edges. That's something that the document should, the device should be able to do. Well, let's see if we can add margins. By the way, leaving blank space, that's called margin. So you can just add a little bit of a margin, and then we should be all good. Yeah, better. Let's add a bit more margin. Better on the sides, but still, yeah, still definitely eating up text on the top. So that menu is, or that option is not that great, but the image quality is, I think, definitely good enough. The text is crisp and sharp. So let's go all the way in, and you can see that the readability is quite good on the Bigme S6 Plus, even when we're dealing with tiny fonts. All right, so let's get into a notebook. Note. There we go, notes. All right, so let's create a new notebook. And I'm not going to go through any of the options or the capabilities or anything like that. I am just gonna, what is this, default? I'm just gonna go for just a writing test if I can. Like, what, where's the lines? I can't see anything. I guess this is horizontal. Yeah, I couldn't see anything. There's like, the rendition of it was not good at all. So let's see, let's turn off the front light. Wi-Fi turned off. I guess it turned itself off at some point. And let's go for HD 256, so the nicest quality that we can get. All right, so that's the sound and the performance that you can see. We will of course measure that later with the Desta in the in-depth review, but that's how it sounds like, and that's how it kind of looks like. So these are the colors that are available to you when writing. And the performance was very similar, at least from what I could tell, was pretty much consistent with depending on which color is done. And that actually makes sense, because you are not going to have the same problems that you had on the Gallery 3 screen, that maybe different colors are going to have different performance, simply because this is essentially a black and white screen with a color stencil on top that creates an illusion of color. So the performance is always going to be the same. It's just that the rendition of the colors is going to be different. All right, and finally, let's take a look at the flip book cover, which has buttons. This is all plastic, so super plasticky, and plastic buttons with plastic feel and plastic sound. Not a good type of a plastic sound or feel. So the device magnetically hooks up there and magnetically holds there, but be careful, because the magnets don't really hold the device at all that well upside down. So basically all it takes, I'm being very careful here, I'm just going to tug on this one very lightly, and it's automatically out. So any kind of fall, there's very minimal protection from the flipbook cover, and that's true of all flipbook covers because they're not cases, so you know that's okay. But this one is a little bit on a weaker side, so you should be careful when taking your device in and out, because the magnets don't really hold it that well. The overall package is similar to the Galy, but I don't like it as much as I did on the Galy, mainly because it has this kind of protrusion. So you can see that they don't align at all, and it looks like it was an intentional design, because the front cover is covering the device, right? And then the bottom cover extends so that it can maybe provide additional hold for the pen, and then overextend here for the pen. Maybe that was the idea, I don't know. But all I do know is that if this is intended to be used as a reader thing with pages here and there, this is extremely uncomfortable with these edges down here, with this pen being in the way, and all this is just extremely clunky and really uncomfortable. And it's far more comfortable to use the device without the pen if you want to read it. And like this is a very different and a very nice experience. As soon as you put it in here, have this edge protruding here, and you have this quite not nice feeling of the plastic there, and also it doesn't really match the curvature of the device properly, so it doesn't really look that nice either when I put it together. So yeah, I'm definitely not a fan of this cover, and I'm not a fan of how this whole thing together looks and handles. It was a lot better on the Bigme Galy. Well, okay, so Bigme S6 Color Plus. I haven't received that update that they were talking about, so, and there's only so much that I can wait. I waited for the amount of time they asked for, but it wasn't out in time. So I am going to basically hold my reservations regarding the ghosting performance and things like that, because that is specifically the area that they've mentioned that the update that hasn't arrived is addressed. And I've seen previously on many other devices that a software update can make a dramatic difference in the ghosting and image clarity quality. So those things I am not going to refer to at all, because I don't know if the results that I see here are meaningful at all or not. That's something that we'll see in the in-depth review. My first impressions are, well, this looks a lot like the BOOX Nova series, as we've seen. So it was not really a great first impression, not because of the ghosting and stuff. As I said, I'm not going to take that into consideration, but because of the the overall performance. It was fairly unstable. There was a lot of issues performing the basic operational tasks, and it was kind of heating up here while doing all of this basic stuff. So those are all software issues that can be solved via an update. So I'm going to, kind of hold my judgment and wait until the update comes, do the in-depth review, and let you know exactly what I think and feel about this device. I think that this is far more usable than Bigme Galy was or is. I think that the pen is just mismatched completely and it doesn't make any sense. I think that the cameras are completely ridiculous and pointless in a device like this. Other than that, if the software issues are actually solved and if the ghosting performance is actually better, I think that this device has quite a lot of potential because the hardware stuff is there. The screen reflectivity, the screen surface, it's actually nice to write on, seems to be decently fast as far as writing latency goes and things like that. So there's definitely a high potential for the Bigme S6 Color Plus. Whether or not they actually kind of get to that point or not remains to be seen. So stay tuned for the upcoming in-depth review of the Bigme S6 Color Plus. I hope that you liked the video. If you did, please like and subscribe and ding the notification bell in the description below to get notified when new videos come out on my deep guide. Also, do let me know what your thoughts are, what your opinion is, and also I'm interested to hear what is your opinion about the development of how do these color panels affect the development of the e-ink devices. Is it a distraction? Is it the direction where we want to go, or something in between? Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and see you in the next video. Bye.